Listen, I know you didn't expect to see me here talking about this, but I need to talk about these new chapter spoilers for Boruto or I'm absolutely just going to lose my mind because everything has actually changed in this chapter. You know, usually when people title videos like everything changes in My Hero, no. Everything literally changes in this chapter of Boruto with ramifications going all the way back to the original Naruto series. But what am I talking about and what specifically happened in Boruto Chapter 79? Well, we have the spoilers thanks to Abdul S172. Thanks to you on Twitter, and we're going to be discussing them right now, so let's get into it. And yes, this is a new development. I am starting to talk about the Boruto manga on the channel. Recently, I did a video saying Boruto's not as bad as you think, and that was a manga video, so check that out if you missed that. But getting back into the spoilers, the chapter begins with Boruto actually exiting his vision that he had of Momoshiki, covering his eye as we see Momoshiki's kind of weird misform starting to fade away. We see Konohamaru get there, and that's where we learn that the search for Kawaki has started. Shikamaru has deployed shinobis to search for Kawaki, but Kawaki is still erasing his chakra. Mitsuki joins the search, but Boruto tells Sarada to go as well, as he's concerned about Mitsuki. So as Mitsuki sees Sasuke and Konohamaru leave from the area where they are with Boruto, we then see Mitsuki, of course, go with them, or at least begin the search on his own as well, and Boruto, yeah, of course, sends Sarada to go after Mitsuki, because Boruto has no idea what's about to happen to him in this chapter. We cut away from Boruto as he's still holding his eye on the page to Kawaki bringing himself back to his regular size using his ability, and then showing up in the forest, seeming very tired as he leans against a tree, not being able to hold himself up. Now, this is a reminder for some of you, this may be the first time, but I actually don't show the actual panels for manga spoilers on the chapter because that can get videos taken down. So I hope you don't mind these representations of what we're seeing in the chapter. So after Kawaki exhausts himself, Eida, using her Senrigan, manages to find Kawaki and goes after him. She's sitting in a room with Sumire and Damon, and she kind of just ignores everything that they say by walking out of the room and just flying away. And even Damon, who runs out after her like, hey, what's going on here? Why aren't you taking me with you? She just kind of ignores him, saying something very briefly to him as she flies away. And I didn't know for a fact that Damon couldn't fly before. I mean, we always see him latched on to Eida and latched on to different characters, but I guess that is good confirmation that as strong as Damon is, he doesn't have the ability to fly, which I guess does raise a couple questions about him, but we can move on from that for now. Here we pretty much cut away to Eida finding Kawaki instantly, and I like the fact that with Eida's ability, there's no reason to have like pages of her searching for anybody or searching for Kawaki. We know that she can pretty much just instantly find where a person is, so I'm glad that because of that, we don't waste pages having Eida also looking for Kawaki, right? Everyone's looking for him and she's able to find him right off the bat. Eida finds Kawaki and tells him that she's on his side. She actually lands right in front of him walking out of a bush in the forest. Kawaki rambles on about wanting to protect Naruto, and he goes on to mention about his desires for wanting to be in Boruto's place and for Boruto to be seen in his place, basically to be seen as an outsider. Now, you've seen during the Kawaki plotline that his desire is definitely very important to his story, right? Generally, he gets the things that he desires in very strange ways or because of other characters, like Amato giving him his karma back, and now in this situation, it seems like his desires are going to bring about another massive change in Naruto and Boruto. Because when Kawaki goes to Eida here and he says, my desire is for Boruto to be an outsider and I want to take his place. That seems just like a good wish, like sure, you're never really going to get that, but okay. But Eida actually does something here that again changes everything. On the page, we see Eida grabbing both sides of Kawaki's face and making an actual serious face without any blushing, right? It's like she starts activating an ability as soon as she looks into Kawaki's eyes and hears his command, or at least his words. At this point, we see energy starting to swirl around Eida and starting to build up, with all of her chakra, or at least the Shinjutsu energy, starting to flow out of her. As Kawaki looks around wondering what exactly is happening, we see a large explosion of chakra in the forest and a crescent moon symbol wrapped around it, very much in a similar vein to what we see in Eida's eye design. As we see this large crescent moon symbol and the explosion of chakra in the sky, we see characters like Sasuke, Shikamaru, Konohamaru, Sarada, and Mitsuki watching the explosion from the side and heading towards it. As the pages go on, the explosion just gets bigger and bigger, and now there's a giant, almost mountain of energy in the center of this weird crescent moon, and in the center of that mountain of energy, we see Eida and Kawaki floating in the air as Eida is still holding on to Kawaki's Kawaki's head doing something. Something is definitely happening here. And finally, on the next page, we see something ridiculous. We see the entire planet of Naruto World, with a ring around it of energy and a beam going from one side to the other, going through the entire center of the planet. And when this is done, the night sky goes completely black, with only the stars left to illuminate it, as Kawaki and Eida slowly lower themselves down to the ground, and Eida falls asleep in Kawaki's arms, seeming to have used every last drop of her energy and now having to go in some sort of weird android temporary stasis mode. Now, what was it that Eida actually did here, and why is it such a big deal, and how is this going to have ramifications for the rest of Boruto and even the past of Naruto? Well, what Eida actually does here is she activates her full power, right? We've seen her ability kind of used here and there, her automatic charm ability, but here it seems like this is the full version of that ability that she's using for the first time in full, and that ability is to rewrite history. Eida rewrote the Naruto manga and changed the events that happened therein. But it's not just that she changed the Naruto manga or changed the events of the series, it's what specifically she did. Eida has reversed Boruto and Kawaki's life. She's completely switched them around. So Boruto is now the enemy of Konoha, who killed Naruto, and Kawaki is now seen as Kawaki Uzumaki. And for Boruto, it's not immediately obvious what's going on, but we do see Momoshiki kind of chiming in, as it seems like he's realized to a certain extent what has happened, because this is the prophecy. It's finally coming true. It's here. We see a page of Momoshiki talking to Boruto in his head, as Boruto looks forward and sees the entire village, like Kawaki, Shikamaru, all the characters that we just mentioned, Shikadai, Chocho, all those characters standing on a grassy patch in front of the Leaf Village, and on the other side, we see Boruto facing against Kawaki and them, because Boruto has now become effectively their enemy. Now, Abdul says, from what I understand, this is the true nature of Eida's power of fascination/enchantment. Kawaki activated when he said his desires, and Momoshiki considers this a godly shinjutsu power. Pretty much the situation is that Eida has essentially manipulated everyone's memories via their chakra, and pretty much made Boruto the enemy and Kawaki the son of Naruto. Now, when I say everyone, it doesn't seem like it's actually everyone, because as Boruto is talking to Momoshiki in the forest, we see Sarada and Mitsuki both arriving at the same time, finding Boruto, and as they get there, they actually both have two very different reactions to Boruto's presence. Mitsuki looks at Boruto and he instantly activates his Snake Sage mode, which is a really big deal because Mitsuki hasn't really been doing Snake Sage mode all that much, and it's time for him to get in his bag and for people to really see what he's capable of. And Mitsuki says something like, "You've really managed to piss me off now." And in his Snake Sage mode, he actually sends an attack at Boruto, as Boruto can feel rumbling coming out of the ground in front of him, and two large snakes come out of the ground as Boruto jumps into the air and dodges it, as Mitsuki looks up, still looking really pissed. But the issue here is that as Mitsuki attacks Boruto, we see that Sarada seems to not be affected by Eida's new power of manipulation, meaning anyone who wasn't affected by Eida before, as his prophecy arc has gone on, is probably not going to be affected by this new ability either, meaning we can go back and look at the recent chapters of Boruto for this arc and see all the characters who are likely still going to remember that Boruto is the true Uzumaki. Now, we'll get back to that in a second as we discuss what's likely going to happen as this arc continues, but on the final page of the chapter, we see a page of Kawaki and Boruto and Momoshiki on the same page, kind of just giving us a rundown of the situation one more time. Momoshiki says that Kawaki is now looked as the son of Naruto, who was born and bred in Konoha, and for Boruto, he is now merely an outsider who killed the 7th Hokage. And the side text at the very end of the chapter says, "Two paths rewritten by the power of a god. A pure wish soon becomes a reality." Now, what is gonna happen here in Boruto? Obviously, I think at some point, some of the characters who were able to remember the fact that Boruto is Boruto are gonna start to be able to convince some of the other characters that that is actually the case. But I don't think it's gonna be super easy, because just talking it out with other people like, "Hey, this is actually Boruto, hey, Kawaki's the bad guy," I don't think that's gonna overwrite Eida's ability, right? So we're kind of looking at a situation where Eida just more or less put everyone in the infinite Tsukiyomi, but they're just free to walk around. Like, she just changed the past, changed their outlook on everything, and I don't know, it doesn't seem like it's as simple to break them out of or keep them out of as it was when Madara did it. So we're here in this really unique situation. We're not 100% sure which characters and which characters weren't affected by this. It's very safe to say that characters like Sasuke and Sarada aren't affected by it because they have their Sharingan, but it's going to be interesting to see if Shikamaru, who was mostly able to kind of evade Eida's ability before, is able to shake it off in this new world that they live in, and does this affect characters like Code and Naruto, who are apparently in in different dimensions at the time of this ability. Like if Naruto comes back, would he be treating Kawaki like his son, or would he look at everyone like they're crazy, treating Boruto like a rogue ninja? What I really like about this is the fact that people have always said that Boruto has had everything handed to him, right? He's been given everything, blah, blah, blah. But Boruto has gone from an extremely talented and an extremely lucky ninja to actually losing everything over the course of the series. And I really like how instead of being like Naruto, who started off with nothing and then later got everything, we're seeing the reverse of this story. And I like stories that do that, where you have one part where it's all about one thing and then the other part flips that whole narrative on its head. So I've really been enjoying the manga for Boruto. I think I am going to catch up on the anime for Boruto, as hard as it's probably going to be based on what you guys are telling me in the comment section for the other video. But I don't know, I just kind of want to be caught up on both versions of the series to know exactly what I'm getting into as I start covering this a little more on the channel. So those are the spoilers for Boruto Chapter 79. Again, thank you to Abdul Zol, and if we get another summary or anything with new information, we'll probably end up going over that as well. So this has been Pineapple. I'll see you guys later. Right now I'm working on a theory video around Shibai and Amato, and I probably am going to have another theory video based on some of the things going on in this chapter, but this is a chapter that changed everything in Boruto, and these changes are here to stay for now.